the studios of Boise State Public Radio News, I'm Samantha Wright, filling in for Jim Gaudette. It's Idaho Matters. Can the smell, or the lack thereof, of something like apple pie or vanilla signal cognitive decline? Researchers at Boise State University are working on a virtual reality headset that monitors how well users detect certain aromas that could help detect the early stages of Alzheimer's disease. Giselle Salas has more.
You are walking through a garden, inhaling the fresh scents of lavender, mint, or jasmine. It's a simple joy, but did you know your sense of smell can reveal a lot about your health? The loss of smell typically occurs 5 to 10 years before Alzheimer's most recognizable symptoms like memory loss and confusion are diagnosable. Alzheimer's is a neurodegenerative disease that affects the brain and spinal cord. These types of illnesses can lead to the progressive loss of nerve cells or neurons, which eventually impacts memory, thinking, and behavior. But the disease doesn't always show up in obvious ways. A decline in your ability to smell is an early sign. A group of researchers at BSU are trying to figure out if there's a way to diagnose abnormal loss of smell for early intervention in the neurodegenerative disease.
We're just going to go ahead and start with the game. So I'm going to go ahead and have you put this on.
That's Alyssa Fagundes, one of the medical collective researchers. I'm testing out the virtual reality platform in a small room in the Chrisway Annex building on campus. I'm going to be a test subject to create a baseline for normal smell function and establish normal aging. Another researcher, Josie Sheridan, breaks down the test.
Whatever scent you smell, you're going to match with your eyes to the picture of it. So a scent will come out and you'll smell it and you'll have 15 seconds to track the correct scent to the picture. And once you find the picture and you think that that's the smell it is, stay on that picture looking at it for the full 15 seconds.
I see 4 screen images in the headset, and the researchers release an aroma, which matches to an image. They've asked not to identify them for the story. This project has brought together a diverse team of students. Fagundes and Sheridan are on the medical collective team.
This team collects data from Psych 101 students here at Boise State, and we use that to kind of compile a baseline of the data because as you get older, your ability to detect scent weakens, and there's also a correlation between that and Alzheimer's, so we just want to establish a baseline.
There's the engineering team that made the device dispensing the smells, and then there's the gaming and interactive mobile media team, also known as GIM,
which is who designed the game that you saw on the computer.
The Understanding Alzheimer's team focuses on public outreach and education. Then there's the data team, which goes to community centers in the Boise area to test a wide range of participants.
We can use that to kind of compile and determine how close we're getting to our end goal.
Sydney Boutros, a behavioral neuroscientist in the psychological science department, is one of the newest professors to join the project that started in 2018. The professors were exploring how to bring the sense of smell into their teaching.
Their first project was trying to teach about national parks with smell, like thinking about Yellowstone National Park and like bringing in like sulfur smells or pine smells and talk about the history there.
As the project evolved, students discovered that loss of smell often occurs 5 to 10 years before Alzheimer's symptoms appear.
But the students are the ones who thought, how can we make this a little more widely applicable?
The loss of smell doesn't automatically mean someone has Alzheimer's, but as we age, our sense of smell naturally weakens. However, for those at risk, detecting this change early on can help doctors diagnose it sooner, leading to better treatment options.
But the distinction between healthy aging and somebody who's on the path towards Alzheimer's disease is that speed of decline.
A 2022 University of Chicago medicine study showed that parts of the brain linked to smell and memory were smaller in people with cognitive decline. There's no cure for Alzheimer's, but new drugs are helping slow down the effects and improve quality of life.
If we can catch it earlier, the people will have more time, more healthy time as we wait for actual cures to come out.
Back in the small room on campus, Sheridan explains once the scent enters my nose, the virtual reality headset tracks my eye movement towards a corresponding object.
How did that feel? Could you smell a lot of the scents coming in?
Yeah, that was impressive. Wow.
After completing the 4-step game, I am told I passed and that I appear to be in good health. I then take a post-test questionnaire and complete a survey. Boutros says she sees this becoming part of someone's annual physical exam starting in a patient's mid-40s. Remember, the team is still in the validation phase. testing the device on healthy participants to establish a baseline of normal aging before testing individuals with Alzheimer's disease.
But we've also talked about maybe putting it somewhere like pharmacies where people can play this game. It's a 2-minute game while they're waiting for their prescriptions to be filled.
It's standard practice to test for vision and hearing. These researchers say adding smell protocols to medical screenings could give better outcomes for individuals and families who might face a diagnosis. Giselle Salas, Boise State Public Radio News.
And Giselle joins us for more. Hi, Giselle. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How did you get the idea to do this very cool story?
Yeah, so I actually got the idea from my roommate. So she's part of the vertically integrated program that focuses on brain health, specifically VR Scent for Alzheimer's detection. She was talking to me about her role and the purpose of this project, and it sparked my interest. So I looked further into it. I pitched the idea. It got approved.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, exactly.
So what was it like to put on the VR headset and to actually go through this experience?
Yeah, oh my gosh, it was super cool. So seeing the 3D piece that their engineering team had created, opening it up and seeing where the senses were placed and how they were able to spray out while you're playing the virtual reality game was very impressive. And also the game that the GIM team created was also such an amazing experience. All the students involved within this research program, they're super talented, very knowledgeable, very well spoken. Overall, it's been one of my favorite experiences with covering a story.
Wow. Okay, so now in the story, you said the researchers didn't want to identify the sense that they're using. Why? Why can't they tell us?
Yeah. So they didn't want to identify the senses because if you're going in there, you're taking the exam, you already know what the senses are. The results won't be accurate. So you'll mess up the data that they're using to create that normal baseline.
Well, that makes sense. Okay, but you actually got to smell the smells. You can't tell us what they were, but did they really smell like what they're supposed to smell like? I mean, was this very, very realistic?
Yes. So, however, some scents can be interpreted in different ways. If there's a similar image associated with the particular smell, it can cause some confusion, but I'm sure they've considered that. But from my experience, there was one where this was the case. But other than that, they've done a great job at choosing distinct smells to avoid any mix-ups.
Wow, it's like smell-o-vision. It's
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so how excited are the research about maybe creating a tool to help diagnose Alzheimer's? I mean, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, they seem super excited. I mean, let's say this tool goes out to the public in the future to be able to say, hey, I was part of that research project in college. It's definitely a very rewarding feeling.
Nice. So what's next for the research? Is there like a timeline? Because you talked a little bit about maybe this could be a tool in places like pharmacies while you're waiting in line. Do they have a timeline for their research?
The professor, Sydney Boutros, she actually, when we were on FaceTime, when we were on the Zoom call, she told me about 2 years, but then again, the students told me something else. So I think it's just kind of in the air. It's unknown. The researchers, they'll continue building and adding to this project. Like I said, it's still unknown. When it'll be available to the public, there's still a lot of data that needs to be collected and components that need to be tested and refined. But hopefully sometime in the near future, we'll be able to test out this tool.
It's really, really cool. And I love this idea that we're doing research at Boise State that could actually, help people in the future who could maybe get Alzheimer's. I mean, it's really a big deal.
No, yeah, I agree. I think it's a great program. Definitely, beneficial for both. You're being part of something bigger, but also getting research hours, getting hands-on experience, and contributing to something that's super significant.
Wow. Was it fun?
It was so fun. Super fun. The whole process, collecting the pieces for my story, going in there, seeing the devices they've created, seeing how they walk their patients through, how they walked me through like I was a patient as well. All of the, they have post questionnaires, pre-questionnaires, surveys. You're seeing all of this on the screen as you're, detecting the smells. So all of it, it's very organized. Like I said, the students they're great.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun. Thanks for giving us a little more insight to your story.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
We've been speaking with Boise State Public Radio reporter Giselle Salas about her story on how scientists are studying how losing your sense of smell could help detect the early stages of Alzheimer's disease. We'll put a link to her story on our website, boisestatepublicradio.org.
This is the Idaho Matters podcast. I'm Gemma Gaudette.